Good evening. My name is Mary Grove, and this is my husband, Steve, and we are the co-founders of Silicon North Stars. It's our pleasure to welcome you to our 4th annual Silicon Valley Demo Day. It's wonderful to see so many friends and colleagues and familiar faces in the room. Whether you've known us the whole 4-year journey or you're just meeting us today for the first time, welcome, and we so appreciate your time and you coming out tonight. Just a quick word about tonight's event. We are tweeting. We want to promote our Silicon North Stars, so please do feel free to follow along and tweet out at hashtag Silicon North Stars.
Great. How many folks had heard about Silicon North Stars before finding out about this demo day? Let's see a show of hands. And maybe how many folks in the room just heard about this kind of really recently? Okay, so some new folks and some old folks. Wanted to tell you a little bit about what we do. We're an organization based here in Silicon Valley, where Mary and I live, but our mission is to inspire and educate young Minnesotans to pursue careers in technology. I'm originally from Minnesota. I grew up in a town called Northfield, Minnesota. How many folks in the audience are from Minnesota originally? Let's hear. Look at that. Go Vikings. And Gophers and Twins. It's awesome to see so many Minnesotans here in San Francisco. All of our students are, of course, from Minnesota. The idea here is to give some students who are really high potential and are heading into high school a chance to come out to the Valley, learn a little bit about technology, get to experience what companies are like out here, give a chance at creating their own startups, which you'll see in a little bit, and just start to be thinking about their future careers through the lens of meeting folks who have careers that they want to pursue someday themselves. So the capstone program of our nonprofit is this week-long tech camp in California. When the students go back to Minnesota, though, they continue to meet every quarter, and they meet entrepreneurs and startups right there in Minneapolis and St. Paul. So the idea is to continue to get these students exposure to folks in tech and to learn about careers they may one day have themselves, and become really a community of alumni who really support one another throughout their high school journeys. As you know, when you're sort of heading into high school, it's this unique moment where the decisions that you begin to make, the classes that you take, the college prep you start to think about, all starts to really matter to chart the course of your future. So this is a really unique moment for these students to come out here and begin their thinking on tech, and I think you're going to really enjoy meeting them in just a little bit.
So this is our class this year. This is a photo we took yesterday, a team photo at the Google headquarters down in Mountain View. I'd like to also introduce our team who makes this possible. Silicon North Stars is a nonprofit. We are 100% volunteer run. We would not be able to do this without the amazing people you see here. So I first want to start by introducing and asking them to stand. Connor Swenson is our Silicon Valley program manager. He's originally from Minnesota and currently lives in London, but loves the program so much that he flew all the way around the world just to be here this week. I'd like to introduce our 2 Minnesota-based program managers who do all of our year-round programming, because Silicon North Stars is year-round, Gario Harrison and Matthew Grove. I want to introduce 2 of our chaperones and partners, the director of our Step Up program, Anna Peterson, Emily Keysbo Johnson, who's a teacher at Washington Technology Magnet School. Kyle Coolbroth, who is the founder and CEO of Coco, and is on our board of directors, as well as our coach for our startup exercise you'll hear about tonight, Kyle. And Damola Agundape, who's also on our board of directors, is a serial entrepreneur and from Minnesota as well.
Great. So before you hear from our amazing students, we wanted to tell you just a little bit more about the experience they've just been through this week that led up to tonight, which is our kind of culminating event of this tech camp. We started out the week doing some team bonding. The students, as you might have heard, come from different schools in the Twin Cities, so they didn't really know each other before they came. This is them at the airport on Sunday morning, bright and early. This is probably like 6:45 a.m. At MSP. And as soon as they landed, we took them straight to a ropes course outside of Berkeley. And we headed right up into the trees and learned how to trust each other, learned how to stretch ourselves a little bit, and really connect with one another as Silicon North Stars to kind of kick off the week. We then ended that day with a dinner at our house to just remind everybody that we're a family now and that we're going to work together throughout the entire week.
The second component of our program was about giving the students an inside view into what it's like to work at some of the world's largest technology companies. So we kicked off the week at the Facebook headquarters, had an amazing campus tour, which was a real highlight for the students, heard from some of their folks on the media partnerships team. This is Piyush Mangalik, one of their engineering directors. They talked about not just Facebook as a company and the culture and their work, but their own personal journeys and the obstacles that they had to overcome to get where they are today. Next, we headed over to the Google headquarters for some free lunch and a campus tour, but also a really exciting look at the latest AR and VR technology. Here's our students demoing the latest Daydream device. Then we finished Monday afternoon at Singularity University on the NASA Ames campus. A very, very inspirational talk from Pascal Finette, who runs their accelerator programs there, about 10x thinking about the future, thinking about how tomorrow is something that we can't even fathom today, but our students will be the ones to create that future. The next morning, we headed to YouTube to see the YouTube headquarters. The students know a lot about YouTube already, but we learned even more. We also had a chance to meet with a YouTube creator, Cassandra Bankson, who is a beauty blogger, and she shared her personal journey, super inspiring, and our students are actually teaching us how to use YouTube as well. Then we went up to San Francisco here in SOMA to Matter VC, an accelerator focused on new media startups. We heard from 3 startup founders, and we got to experience to see what a great pitch looks like. And we ended the afternoon yesterday by heading to the Uber headquarters, a new company that we added to the visit roster this year. We heard from Luis there, who's one of their longtime employees and engineering managers, talked about the journey of a ride, the new platforms that Uber is building, and his own personal journey of overcoming enormous obstacles and really persevering. Yesterday morning, we kicked off the day at Stanford University. It was a beautiful sunny day. We had a great morning there. We met with an admissions officer and learned what they look for in students and how they can encourage students heading into high school to thinking about how to set themselves up for success. We got a tour of campus. We also met with the athletics department, who's using technology in incredibly interesting ways. And for those of you who are familiar with the Stanford mascot, we did meet the tree.
So that was the first part of the week. And then in the middle of the week, we start to inflect from absorbing information about these companies in Silicon Valley to actually thinking about our own futures. And we do that by launching into a mentorship session led by Matt Grove, one of our Minnesota program managers. What we do here is bring together a mentor per student, warm ourselves up by getting to know each other, and then we sit down and come up with goals. And we look at 1-month goals sort of from now till the next month. Then we look at 3-year goals and then 5-year goals. And through these charts that each mentor helps a student fill out, we think through some of the benefits to those goals, the actions we're going to take to achieve them, predicting some of the challenges that might come up as we pursue these goals, and how we're going to measure whether we succeeded or not. So again, this moment before you head into high school, really thinking about what is that experience going to be like and what do you want to get out of it in the coming years. It's a really fun time. Many of our mentors are here tonight. Thank you so much for helping our students out. It's always a huge highlight of the week, and the students always leave that session really energized and excited for their futures.
We also focus a lot on building community because this is not just a week-long tech summer camp. It's really a year-round program, and our goal is to actually be with the students and have a close relationship with them for the next 4 years until they enter college. So lots of fun moments along the journey, some competitive kickball, lots and lots of eating. We went to Pier 39 to experience a little bit of the best of San Francisco. Personally, the warmest day I've ever had at Pier 39.
Great, which brings us to tonight. The final event of the week. Our students are very excited to share their ideas with you. And here's kind of how we run the day. When we woke up this morning, the students had no idea the challenge they were going to try to solve with their teams. They just knew that they had teams and they were going to have a startup by the end of the day. And we give them this design challenge to inspire them to create companies that tackle a problem that is relevant to them and their communities. and I'd like to talk about that challenge right now. Many of our students are actually recent immigrants. Many of them know immigrants in their families. And of course, everyone in America has some type of immigration history to share. And in Minnesota, immigration is definitely a hot topic. 1 in 6 students in Minnesota has a parent who is a recent immigrant. And the rate of immigration to Minnesota is 3 times higher now than it was in 1990, compared to 2 times higher for the rest of the country. So it is a state that is increasingly diversifying, which of course creates challenges and opportunities for immigrants and local residents. So I'm actually just going to read out loud the challenge for all of us. You see it up on the screen to give you a sense for what the students were presented with when they woke up this morning and began the startup journey. Immigration has been a major topic of public debate in the last year. Many of our current president's policy decisions have put immigrant communities on edge and stoked fear on both sides of the debates over sensible immigration policy and reform. In Minnesota, a state with large immigrant populations, this topic has come to a head in several instances, most notably in the assault of a Muslim woman at an Applebee's in Ramsey County earlier this year. Many of you may have seen this. It was in national headlines. A Muslim woman at Applebee's was assaulted with a beer mug by a local resident who was fearful of her presence at that restaurant. Sparked a big debate in Minnesota of the ongoing challenges in these communities. So this is something that students really see every day in their lives in Minnesota. So the challenge was really, how can we use technology to increase understanding and decrease hostility between recent immigrants and current residents of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area? Pretty easy, right? Sounds like a breeze. Obviously challenging, and a topic that's very relevant, again, to our students. Lots of interesting ideas. The day began, again, with Kyle, who really brought us through a journey today of how to do design thinking as a way to take on this challenge and come up with a startup idea. So Kyle walked through briefly kind of an overview of the day. Students went out, they actually hit the streets of San Francisco, talked to folks, interviewed them about their own experiences and perspectives on immigration. Again, to think about others as their user and what they could, and making sure that their startups were designed to meet the needs of the users they met out in San Francisco. They then came back into a room just up here on the 3rd floor and did all kinds of ideation really targeted at meeting the needs of their user on this topic. This is a totally new way to brainstorm for these students. They're not only learning how to create a startup, but how to think in this new way, this sort of user-centered design way to create their companies. We're really proud of what they came up with, and I think you're going to be excited to see it in just a moment. So I'll stop there. We're gonna shift now to hearing from the students. Before we do that, though, I did want to thank you, give a note of thanks to our partners. Coco, as I mentioned, where Kyle is from, is one of our main Minnesota partners. They host the students every quarter for our meetups. Washington Tech and Humboldt Academy of IT are our partners in St. Paul. They help select the 8 students from St. Paul. The Step Up program in Minneapolis helps select our 8 students from Minneapolis. There's a few Step Up alums here tonight that I met before we came together, which is always fun to see. And then we couldn't do this without the help of a lot of generous sponsors. Many different foundations and groups in Minnesota have supported us. The Jamf Software Foundation, Best Buy, Sunrise Banks, the Minneapolis Foundation, the Knight Foundation. But actually also many of you in this room donated either to come tonight or in the past. We really, really appreciate your support. This program is entirely cost-free to these students. It does cost some money, obviously, to put on this program. And so actually, students, if we could stand up, turn around, and give a round of applause to our supporters here tonight to thank them for making this possible. We really do appreciate it. We're entirely funded by donations from others, and we're proud of that fact and proud that you're here to show your support as well. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Mary.
Great, so we're going to head into the demo day portion of the evening. And I'd like to start by welcoming and introducing our 3 judges. Invite them to join me up here on stage. First is Sunita Yuri. She's with Mind the Bridge. Sunita is a longtime leader of accelerator programs and education. She's worked extensively with startups from all over the world. We're thrilled to have her here with us tonight. Please join me in welcoming Lawrence Mandes. Lawrence is one of the founders and currently the Chief Revenue Officer of Galvanize. And I want to thank you, Lawrence, for generously opening up your doors to all of us today. Thank you. And thirdly, please welcome TD Lowe, representing 542 and Startup Grind. So our 3 judges will be looking at tonight's performance based on 2 criteria. One is the strength of the solution, the actual product, technology, implementation, And the second is on the strength of the pitch, so the actual presentation and the delivery. So thank you all three for being with us. Great. With that, I'm also going to welcome up the Silicon North Stars class one at a time to come up and introduce themselves to you. Great. Did you guys come?
My name is Kayla, and I am from Minneapolis. My favorite company visit was Matter, and this was my favorite visit because I like to see all the rising companies that they are working with. One thing I'll take from the trip is this experience because no other kids in Minnesota can have the experience like I did.
My name's Anthony. I'm from Minnesota, Minneapolis. My favorite visit of the week was meeting Arun, which was pretty cool.
Hi, Arun.
And one thing I'd bring home with me is being on this trip. It was fun. I got to meet new friends. Got to go places I never thought I would be able to go. So yeah, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ong and I'm from Minnesota. My favorite company so far was Facebook because I liked the campus that they had. It was super big and I like playing in the arcade. One thing I would bring home to Minnesota is some of the theories Pascal made because it really interests me and it might interest some other people.
Hello, my name is Natalie, and I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. My favorite thing about this trip wasn't actually a company, it was Stanford University. One thing I'll take back to my community is that there's an opportunity for anything, yeah.
Hi, my name is Shandy, and I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. And my favorite company visit was Google because it was very fun experiencing the new Daydream virtual reality goggles. And one thing I'll take back to my community in Minnesota is that it's actually a quote. It's to fail fast and get feedback.
Hello, my name is Milan, and I'm from St. Paul. And my favorite company visit was Facebook because I really like the campus. And one thing I'll take back to my community is the harder you work, the more chance you have to be lucky. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Andrea Vargas, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And my favorite company that we visited was probably Facebook, because I really like the campus in general, but like also the people that told their stories. I thought that was really inspiring and really cool. And one thing I'll probably take back to my community in Minnesota is that like to not really care about as to what other people count as a job, but to just do what you love, and then that would eventually turn into a career.
Hello, my name is Kayla Taylor, and I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. My favorite company to visit was Singularity, and it was just because Pascal made a really big impression on me, and I'm just very happy I got the opportunity to go there. And one thing that I'll bring back to Minnesota with me is that Silicon Valley isn't just a place, it's a mindset.
Hello, I'm Logan. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and my favorite company to visit was Singularity because Pastel kept the conversation very engaging, and I found myself wanting to learn more about it. And one thing I will bring back to Minnesota is that you're never too young to be successful.
My name is Muchi Yang, and I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. My favorite company I visited was Google because I like that daydream. And the one thing I'll take back to Minnesota is to never give up.
is Sarah, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. My favorite company was Singularity because I like the presentation. One thing I'll take back to Minnesota is everything I learned in the experience.
My name is Claire Shee, and I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. My favorite company was Google because we had to use the virtual reality. It's awesome. I'll take back taking chances, but not avoid it.
Hi, my name is Rosemary. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. I think probably my favorite company visit was Facebook because I really love the campus and I honestly don't understand how anybody gets work done there. And I think something I'll take back, I actually pretty sure somebody already said it here, but there was a quote that one of the engineers at Facebook told us, where it's the harder you work, the more chances you have to be good, to be lucky. And I thought that was really powerful.
Hi, my name is Chavez. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I don't have a favorite company or visit because I thought all the companies and the visits were really inspirational. One thing I would take back to Minnesota is one thing the mentors that we did here taught me. Life is trash, but if you can overcome that trash, you can be anything.
I'm Avery, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. My favorite company that we went to was Facebook because I like the layout of the campus. And one thing I learned that I'll take back to Minnesota is that there's a lot of opportunity here.
So my name is Kat. I'm from Minneapolis, and my favorite company visit was YouTube for a pretty basic reason, and that's because I got to meet a YouTuber, which is like, she's pretty big. It's not a big opportunity you get every day. And one thing I'll take back to my community would probably be that success is not a straight line. It will take you up and down for the whole ride.
Excellent.
Final round of applause for our 2017 Silicon North Stars. All right, thank you, North Stars. You may take your seats. Is the applause hurting your ears? So we've come to that time we've all been waiting for, which is pitch time. So I'm going to share just briefly the format of this evening's event. So we have 4 teams of 4 students each. They've each been working on their companies. So each team will have 5 minutes here to pitch, and then we'll take 5 minutes of questions from our judges panel, and then we're going to open it up to you in the audience for questions as well. So I'd ask you, when you do ask a question, please just introduce yourself and what organization you're with as well. Are we ready? All right. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming our first team, Beyond the Countries.
Well, as you all know, we are the 2017 fourth generation of Silicon North Stars, and our company or app, you can call it anyone, is called Beyond the Countries. And my name is Kayla.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Natalie.
I'm Ong. This is just our team here, you know. Earlier today, we met a woman named Kate. Kate is an immigrant from Ukraine, and she arrived here a month ago. Since she is here in San Francisco, that means she might not know many people or the areas. She's pretty new here, which means she might still, feel a bit uncomfortable. But we have developed an app that will help Kate as well as other immigrants and locals to create a bond in which they will understand each other.
The way our app works is it provides users with 2 categories. One is called programs, and the other is called communications. First, let us explain our programs category. Within this category, there are 2 topics, which are career programs and learning. The career programs help our users find careers or create their own. The learning part of our program's category helps users learn about cultures, countries, situations, and languages. In our second category, which is communications, we have 3 topics. Our first topic within communications is chat/video chat. We partner with Skype to allow people to communicate via chats and video calls. Another topic in communications is tours, which this topic we partner with Uber, and our partnership is called Ubergrant. Uber gives us the chance to help our users to get to know their new area. It is at no cost that our users get tours. Our last topic is a translator. This translator helps the users understand each other by translating each word that is typed or spoken while in a chat or video chat.
Here we got is our implementation plan. So where we'll advertise is in Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, etc. The reason why we picked them is because they're social medias. And in social medias, there are a lot of diverse people and it's very social. And the ads we will put up will attract different people to our app. And here is our partner is Uber and Skype. The reason why we picked them is because they will have like the things we need. I mean, like Uber will give us the ride for the tour and Skype will help us with the video chat.
Why is BTC valuable to communities? BTC is an app created by Silicon North Stars passionate about immigrants and locals communicating with one another. We started this app because we wanted to increase understanding and decrease hostility between locals and immigrants. We hope you help us keep helping others. Thank you. Any questions?
So I see that Uber is a partner. Are you guys considering maybe partnering with Lyft as well?
First, I never heard of Lyft.
That's a good reason. Well, Lyft is like Uber, just on a smaller scale. So that was my question. The next question is there a way for people on the app to identify what country they're from?
Well, yes, there actually kind of is. Well, like we described from our programs category, there is the learning topic. And in that learning topic, since I mentioned, you can learn about cultures and countries. Within that, you can learn about different cultures about a person or anything you might find in a chat while with a person.
Can you give us some examples of some of the learning programs that are offered through the application you're building?
Ever heard of Duolingo? Yeah, that helps you learn about languages, any language like Japanese, Spanish, what's another one? Yeah, similar to that. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your presentation. I have a question about the social aspect. So are you planning to blend the locals together with immigrants on that app, or is it like to introduce immigrants with immigrants and helping each other?
We are planning to make, everyone, immigrants or local, together, make a bond with them. That's what we're basically trying to do.
It doesn't really, it's immigrants can help out each other, locals can help out each other, locals with immigrants. It's really an app for everyone to contribute to help each other.
What was your biggest learning you took away from your user that you were able to interview today and work with?
I would say we took the biggest thing that she would make it easier for everybody to come to the United States as a business partnership. So everybody could come within business instead of working with refugee camps and everything else. So she would make it easier. She's actually right there. So, hi, Kate. So she would make it easier for businesses to help the immigrants come to the United States.
One last question. So tell me, why did you guys decide to solve the problem this way by connecting immigrants with the community?
We decided it this way because we feel like as we went out in the streets and got everybody's opinions on this problem, everybody kind of gave us the same answer, that they would like more bonding, more relationship, more understanding on how everybody kind of experiences each immigration type of way. Because everybody has different stories, so people really just wanted to get to know each other.
So what's going to be your first step to actually implement this idea?
Our first step is, well, to maybe find some help with our companies first before we start, because the four of us might be able to do it, but I don't know why, but I don't think we know our first step yet. For me, I don't.
You're in Silicon Valley. You're supposed to say fundraise.
Fundraise.
Yes.
Any questions from our audience? Yes.
Yeah.
You can please stand up and introduce yourself.
Whoops. Hi, I'm Britt from Minnesota. How did you guys come up with the name of your company?
Well, if you really want to know.
Do you guys know BTS? Well, I just got the name from them because, should I say it? Because BTS is a K-pop group, I'm a huge fan of K-pop, and I just randomly came up with BTC. Then I was like, oh, it could be beyond the country. Then everyone started to agree with me. I'm like, oh.
Any other questions?
Yep.
Right here? Somebody else? Oh, sorry.
Hey, first off, great job. Because when I was in the 9th grade, I probably would not have been able to do anything like that. So
Thank you.
kudos to you. So my name is Brylan Donaldson, and I'm from Kansas, interning here for the summer. I have 2 questions for you. First question is, what does understanding look like and mean to you? And the second question is, what is one thing your team holds true that someone else in this room may disagree with you on? And when I ask that question, it can be in terms of how do you see the world, looking if everyone, was connected and there was no hostility. What would that look like to you?
Well, that's a big question, so we got to embrace ourselves. So
There would be no war.
We came up that we want immigrants in our country because if you think about it, it's actually made of immigrants. Everybody has the immigration line within their own blood. So if we can have more immigrants within our country, it's more opportunities for the regular U.S. citizens. So.
And then we feel if everything was really calm, no problems at all. Yes, that kind of, if we can admit to that, be boring a little bit because there's no peace without no problems, right? So, I guess everybody would have a chance in more opportunities. Understanding kind of looks like, I could say, getting along, having things in common. And let's see, what else? Yeah, don't know how to explain it. It's just a really nice feeling when you can get along with somebody.
Let's hear it for Beyond the Country. It's never easy to go first, so great job. Thank you. Next up, please welcome Team Through My Eyes.
Hello, my name is Mila.
I'm Shandy.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Kat.
And this is everyone from our team. And we are, our name is Techgration X because tech because we're using technology to help people, and gration from immigration. And actually just for fun. Our user was David, the employer. David, a restaurant owner, is looking for a new cook for his restaurant. David uses the app Through My Eyes, an app used to promote unity for immigrants.
David wants more employees that are trustworthy, skilled, and a diverse workforce.
In the app TME, he finds Gerardo, a Mexican immigrant that has recently moved to America. He is skilled and is need of a job.
David is interested in learning more about Gerardo's culture and ethnic background. So David uses a feature that lets you plug into a virtual reality device to see a virtual simulation of his ethnic backgrounds, work experiences, and cultural customs.
Our user, Gerardo was a chef in Mexico. He moved to the U.S. in 2016. He's looking for a job to feed his family.
So in the first picture, we have picture of what the screen would look like. In the top left corner, you can see David's profile and his name under it. At the top, there's a search bar, and it says find employees, because you can find both employees and employers depending on what you're looking for. So David looked up employees, and as you can see, the first floor there, he found Gerardo, who's from Mexico, and he's an employee looking for an employer. Under his profile, you can see that there's a TME, and what that means is it shows his virtual reality background. So David plugs up his phone to a compatible virtual reality device, and this is what David sees. He sees in the top left corner who he is watching, and he also can see that Gerardo is making food for quinceañera in Mexico. At the bottom, it shows how much of the background video is left, and that's a brief summary of how the app would work if you were an employer looking for an employee.
Marketing of the app, we use social media advertisement, word of mouth, newspaper, Google Ads.
And for our partners, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, human rights organizations, employment agencies, and New York Times.
And our revenue is advertisement.
Our outcome, more employees will be more aware of what immigrants have gone through and how they've lived and how they've worked. This will help both the immigrants and employees connect, learn about each other's cultures, and create more opportunities for everybody.
Thank you for listening to us, and I hope you use our app.
Who was the designer? I appreciated your wireframes.
Designer in what way?
Who designed the layouts of what it would look on the app? Those are really well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, do each individual user upload their own video? Is
Yes,
that how it works?
they do. Basically, to start up, they make their profile, say where they're from, if they're an employee or an employer, and they'll go through this process, and they can get help from either the designers of the app, or they can call a helpline that will help guide you through how to create this virtual reality background. And basically, it helps people get a sense of who this person is, do we want this person, and why.
And so to learn more about the culture, do you only see them in their professional work environment, or do you also see other aspects of their life in the VR world?
For this one, we actually have another part of this app where you can actually search up where they work or what place they are, and you can actually learn their culture, what they do there.
Oh, I'm from Latvia, and a lot of people ask me where's that. So I guess that would be very helpful for my potential employers or friends or community members who have no idea. But that means I would have to be there physically, right? So and do that myself, though I'm right now here. So you actually have to be super prepared before you move to another country. Isn't that a little bit too late?
I mean, it might be a little too late, but it's never too late to get started. You know what I mean?
I mean that, and the actual app is to help immigrants who can't exactly find a job. So instead of the employees searching for employers, the employers search for them.
I'm Kayla. What is the effect it plays on the United States? What is the effect it plays on the United States?
It helps people understand each other, and everything could be more diverse, and everybody could be more understanding.
I think it also helps like people understand culture and where people actually come from and what kind of work they can actually do. I feel like a lot of people who move from a different country, they get underestimated because they might have an accent or they might have a different first language, but they might be very talented in something that you wouldn't know about unless you saw it through their eyes, hence the name, Through My Eyes.
I actually learned this quote from Pascal. He said, something that you do 10,000 the time is better than doing it once. And you don't know what immigrants have done 10,000 times because they have been living there by themselves, working to feed their family in poor conditions. So they might be actually better than some of us here.
Isn't that expensive for immigrants to make those videos?
The app is actually, you can create everything for free. It is a nonprofit app as well. It is mainly based around helping immigrants find a job. They do not have to pay for anything. And if they need a virtual reality device, with our partnership, we can easily lend them a device and help them get it created, and they wouldn't have to pay for anything because it'd be like a welcome gift to the country.
So culture is kind of a buzzword right now that's continuously being thrown around. So what does culture mean to you for?
Culture means like being different and being from a lot of different places and like having different experiences than other people and different customs and religions.
To me, being different is culture is being different and not being ashamed of it. Being proud of who you are.
To me, culture is about being the odd one out, being different from the others, like you're outstanding or something, and yeah.
To me, culture is like being unique and having something that you can do with others and connect with them. But at the same time, it's something you can help teach others about and maybe introduce them to what you do. And it helps create more of an understanding, especially when it comes to like immigration, because you have all these people of different cultures and a lot of people aren't as educated about it. And a lot of them could be more interesting than you might think.
Terrific job. Thank you so much, everyone. With that, please welcome team number 3, Team Nullam.
Hello, my name is Kayla Taylor, and I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota.
I'm Andrea, and I'm from Minneapolis.
I'm Logan Chang, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And I'm Muchi from St. Paul, Minnesota.
So, once again, my name is Kayla Taylor, and I'm the founder of Nullam. A few years ago, I worked in a company owned by a Brazilian immigrant. I was continuously worried about how the president was fanning the flames of resentment towards immigrants. But I became really worried when one of my coworkers and best friends stopped showing up to work. Later on, I found out that my best friend Gabe had ended up being reported by one of my coworkers as an undocumented immigrant. This inspired me to create Nullam with my friends and friends of Gabe.
Our company, Nullam, which is Latin for immigration, is to bring people together with our live chats, promote stories of immigrants and troubles they face by connecting them with them, hearing their stories, and give them all a voice. We'd also partner with Ancestry.com to help people find their immigrant stories.
In our app, we're going to use live chats, and for which immigrants can live stream, and regular people who don't really know much about certain different types of cultures or where they come from, they can ask questions and things like that, and they can interact with the immigrant and see that they're just regular people just like us, and they can get to know them and things like that. Because we're partnering with Ancestry.com, we're able to figure out where they came from and give them kind of their immigrant story, because most people, unless if you're Native American, are actually an immigrant. So then once we find your immigration story, we give you other stories related similar to your immigration story, so you can get to know other immigrants and see that they're kind of similar to you and other people.
We will promote our app, but using similar search engines, and we will also put ads on Facebook and on Instagram. And we will also create a Snapchat filter so we can put ads on it. And we will also put a link on Ancestry, because since Ancestry is close to our plan. And we will also like you guys to donate us $500,000 to us to launch our project.
So actually, we decided to make it so that you guys could see a prototype of what our app would look like. So basically here, we just made it so that you guys could see our logo and the types of things that would be up there. So the people that have our app would be able to post on it, as well as the curators. So this is just something I wrote about President Trump's travel ban that has been turned down multiple times. And basically, they're still trying to get across, even though there's many people that were already accepted to come here, and they were being held at airports and such things. So I wrote an article about that, and then the story of Owen that we just told, or actually, the story about how Nullam was created, and then Immigration to the Land of the Free was the last one. Also, we talked about having it so that people could ask real people questions that they would have. So, for example, I actually asked my friend Yusra, why do Muslim women always wear hijabs? For an example. And her response was, actually, they don't always wear hijabs. At the age of 18, they get to make their 16, they get to make their choice in whether or not they would like to wear a hijab. And I might have not known this information otherwise. And being able to ask questions like this would decrease hostility in many communities, because sometimes people are just hostile towards things they don't know or don't understand. Thank you for listening.
Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you. That was great. It's really interesting to see all the differences from the different teams. You obviously focus a lot on kind of the content side. Give me some examples of how I see some content being delivered by individuals, but other ideas of how blog posts are written and other content which can be effectively put on your app.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, it's really about the content generation. Like where
Okay.
where are you? How much is being originated from the team within the company versus say other content being generated that you're pulling in, and how are you kind of filtering that accordingly on the app?
Okay, so basically our app, the example at least was made through Amino. And on Amino, you can take and the users of the app can produce their own things, but the curators could also pin certain posts that they really like. So as a person that made the app, I would be able to see certain posts that people would make and say, this is good, I think the community would like this, and be able to pin it. But as well, if I don't feel the community is making good enough posts or enough posts, I would be able to put in my own work.
Great, thank you.
Anytime you have a site that is content related, you always have, opposing opinion. Will your app allow, opinions across the board, or will it only focus on the opinion of people who believe, as we do, that immigration is good for our country?
Well, we would allow different types of opinions, but mostly we would try and get rid of the opinions that were like really negative towards other people and their cultures, especially if they don't have the right kind of information or things like that. But like if they have like opposing views, we can like other people can post to contradict that and give their reasons as to why not, and so that way the community grows and they have more communication between each other.
And on that same subject line, that you can now communicate directly with a person like your friend who you ask about wearing a hijab. How do you prevent people from abusing that and using it in a negative way on your app?
So basically, if people are like rude and things like that, and they just don't feel like, if the immigrant does not feel comfortable, they can report them, and then the actual account and things will just be deleted, and they won't be able to do that, because that'd be really rude, because most people they're giving their time to answer your questions, and if you're going to be disrespectful as to who they are, you might as well not be on the app.
Well, you're quite a storyteller, so that was impressive. Wow, thank you. So my question is, when you're gonna start? Because you can start with the Facebook groups, right? So are you really serious about that? Like, when you're gonna start, and what's gonna be the first thing you can actually do to implement this?
Well, actually, our group honestly could probably start now, because Amino is actually a free app that anyone has access to. So even if we're running something through there, everything would be free, but partnering with Ancestry would be a little bit harder because we might need money for that. So we would have to work hard enough to get money to partner with Ancestry, so that people, even European people, that might not think that, oh, I'm from here, I didn't immigrate from anywhere, so I'm not an immigrant, when, again, technically, nobody from here isn't an immigrant unless they're natives. So we just want to be able to start it as soon as possible and be able to have money to partner with Ancestry, as we feel like that's a really big part of it.
Questions from the audience?
Hi there, I'm Caroline, originally from St. Paul. How do you get immigrants to participate who maybe are here illegally, and the fears they might have that this app could bring ICE or other government agencies to go after them? Do you have any concern about that?
We were thinking of adding ads, maybe on newspaper or on social media, since almost everybody go on social media. And so when one person look at our ad, they will spread to other people, and they will tell other immigrants about it.
Any other audience questions?
All right. Round of applause.
Question.
Thank you. Thank you, Team Nullam. Our final pitch of the evening, please welcome Team Cultural Reality.
So our product is cultural reality, and our team is the Voyageurs. This is Rosemary, and that over there is Chavez, and I am Clergy, and he is Avery.
Okay. Gotta go back. Okay, before we start our presentation, I would like to have everyone in the room close their eyes. Just everyone close your eyes. Now imagine this. You're walking into the grocery store. You go down aisle 5 or any aisle. You go look for the bread. You look at the price tag and it's in a foreign language. You go up to the cashier and you tell them this. In your language, that means, what is the price tag? They stare at you and they ask you to say it again, but you don't know what they're saying, so you say it again anyways, and you say this. So the cashier brings you to the manager, and you say the same thing to the manager. The manager says this.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't understand you.
So you say it again, even more frustrated than before because they're not understanding what you're saying. So now you start to hear whispers.
Oh my gosh, she's so weird.
She cannot, I don't know where she's from. She can't understand us.
What is she saying?
She's holding up the line. You hear the whispers around you, and you're feeling scared because you feel so alone, and you really wish that somebody would understand. So everybody can open their eyes now. Next slide, please. So you kind of just got a little bit of kind of like a sample of what we kind of imagine our app would be like. But we decided to target American citizens instead of immigrants, which is a little bit of a change, with our product because we wanted to focus on educating those who might not know what immigrants go through on a daily basis and what their lives are like.
This is Micah, man, we interviewed. Mike will go on to inspire our story since he told us something about a refugee camp that he went through.
In addition, he also told us about how he didn't really know any immigrants and thus didn't really know if they really had any problems, and we thought that was something that needed to be addressed.
Once you put on the headset, you are transported into a version of you where you are the immigrant coming to the United States.
Through the process of living through a tiny portion of an immigrant's life, we hope to inspire understanding and compassion for others.
In addition, once you complete this experience, you will receive a certificate of completion, which can help you make more of an attractive resume, and you will get store credit, or you would have a gift card.
Yeah, there you go. So I think you might have seen on our slide, our previous slide, that we would partner with Google to use their Daydream technology because our entire team got to try it recently, and we all thought it was a very good VR system. So we'd partner with them for that, and then we'd also partner with Forbes to advertise our product, as they often focus on up-and-coming technology, and from there, word can exponentially spread.
First and foremost, we're going to go through this experience. Hopefully we can increase awareness and destigmatize the life of immigrants, especially in this current political climate.
And in addition, the implementation of the certification process, certificate, after going through the experience, could incentivize learning about different cultures and their struggles in American society.
We could also call citizens to action, whether it be through extending the hand of friendship to immigrants or by donating time to help.
And so it's through this way of educating that we really hope that we could help, I think we already said, destigmatize the lives of immigrants in America. And thank you for listening.
So utilizing Google's platform for VR, how do you convince citizens that this is something that they should actually, or that we should actually do?
So like we said earlier, there would be the kind of incentive is like you get this certification that you've been through the experience, and so you can kind of relate to to a vast majority of our society, and that can certainly be attractive to employers who for customer service jobs or et cetera, et cetera.
And you guys see yourselves working with employers to get them to integrate this into their hiring practices?
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
That was great. Thank you. As a individual who actually started an education-focused company, and we talk about certifications a lot through that education process, can you provide some examples of what actual you'll be certified in to work through that process to the employer or others that would be receiving kind of the credentials from that individual who's gone through that VR experience?
So it sounds a little bit unintuitive, and also that is a very bright light. It would be for like that you have kind of walked a short path in the shoes of this metaphorical person, not metaphorical. So we feel that when you know, obviously people can learn a lot when you just take a second and think about how you would put yourself in another person's shoes, and that's almost literally what we're doing.
And just in your opinion, so how many times do you would have to experience different situations to actually feel the pain and experience, or how extreme of the experience should be for the American citizen to get it?
It depends on the person.
And are you planning to partnership with your other VR teammates?
Yes.
Questions from our audience?
Questions?
What are they actually supposed to be looking at through the VR system?
So just like the example that we gave you where everybody closed their eyes and it would be, you'd be going through this and you'd have headphones and you'd be seeing it basically through the eyes, which I realize sounds a lot like our other VR teammates. So you'd go through a situation that, you know, immigrants probably most likely go through very commonly. So say you go to a public place like a mall, and maybe you might not be familiar with the language that's on the tags, or your money isn't worth what you thought it was. And so that would kind of help to put them in their shoes. Oh boy.
You guys did a really compelling job of creating this experience that we were all able to join you guys on and create empathy, which is really important. What sorts of immigrant experiences would you guys look to create, and how would you think about which experiences you would create versus which ones you wouldn't?
Since it is new, we would hopefully try to create the most common ones, as in Spanish, Somali, Thai, Lao, and then further and keep going on and add on some more. So those are the most common in the media, and those are the most you hear about.
Okay, so you guys said that it depended on the person, how many times that they took it, right? So depending on how many times that they have to take it to actually get it, will you be making different levels, be giving them different experiences? How would you make it so that they actually feel what it would be like in everyday life, or would you just be playing over and over the same thing?
It almost kind of depends on, it sounds repetitive and a bit of a broken record, but it kind of depends on the person, like, for example, with their political affiliation. Like, say if they just wanted to, say if this person might be, you know, liberal-leaning and they just kind of wanted the experience of walking in somebody else's shoes, didn't really need to be, they might just not know that much. You wouldn't have to do it as many times.
You could set the standard on things that this is an opinion, so this is the opinion, this is really made for the bystanders that watch this stuff happen in real life, to be honest. Because if they see people and stuff like this happen, they get stuck at malls or get stuck at the airport because of their affiliation or race. And you want to get visualize that of what you see these people going through and how it affects them.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up there. Let's hear it for cultural realities.
Great. I think as we were assessing all the presentations in the judges' room, was always coming back to the challenge, and effectively kind of how each of the pitches and each of the applications that you were building were related back to what was presented to you for solving and increasing understanding within the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. With that, we'd just like to go and just provide just down the list. What we saw is really all the pieces of excellence associated with the companies. So, do you want to start, or do you want me to start? Okay, I will start. For BDC, it was we'd like to call it. It was a great social network, the next great social network to be built, and congratulate the team on that.
What I really liked about BDC was the fact that regardless of where you are, even if you don't live in a community where there are immigrants, you have the opportunity to get to know someone and to be able to make a connection with someone who's not like you and who you'll probably never meet face to face.
Yeah, we totally see that coming as the next go-to social platform, as Facebook is right now for everyone, then go-to platform for immigrants.
Congratulations. With Techgration, I really appreciated the UI, and you were the only ones actually who brought a monetization strategy into the discussion, so really good job.
Yeah, investors, we love to talk about money. You should know. That's what we love, money. What I really liked about Techgration was you guys gave us an opportunity to see that VR can be applied to more than, gaming. Like my nephew plays like the Star Wars VR world, and every time I'm on it, I throw up, so I don't do it anymore. But this gives me a really practical reason why I should be more engaged in VR, and I thought that was very creative.
Yeah, and that is solving this economical problem for the immigrant side. So you're actually helping them to be hired, to get jobs. So that was definitely like a business economical contribution pitch.
Great. For Nullam, I really love the content side of it, especially around stories and blog posts and empathy that come with that. At Galvanize, we do a lot of that as we see students coming from our doors from all walks of life, and having that empathy and understanding, I think, is essential. So really great positioning on that.
And to piggyback on what he said, what I really liked about Nullam was the fact that this was an experience that you had personally as founders. And so there's a lot of passion behind a product when it's your personal experience as founders.
Yeah, and stories definitely is one of the most powerful things, how to change the behavior and mindset, and that it's a lot of controversial possible, but you are giving people opportunity for being vulnerable and be educated, which is very, very powerful.
And lastly, but not least, but cultural reality, I really appreciated the larger platform application there, where it's associated with flipping not immigrants, but actually natural-born citizens, and integrating technology accordingly to provide that learning and empathy.
I really liked this one. Ironically, I just landed right before coming here, and I was sitting on the flight next to the person who is head of diversity and inclusion at GitHub, and we were having this conversation about how to make diversity and inclusion training be more realistic, that people can actually adopt and make changes that are meaningful. And so I saw this technology as playing very well in line with the conversation that we had as we were flying in.
Yeah, and Google employees and other corporate employees have to go through the conscious bias training. I think that your solution should be like part of their solution, like today.
So again, congratulations to all 4 teams. Well done. It was a very challenging discussion in the judges' room, but we are happy to present the winner tonight. In that one, okay, we're gonna do 2 awards. Okay, first we have actually honorable mention for what we think is the best UI UX company is Techgration. Congratulations.
And now, drum roll. And the winner of the grand prize is, together?
Nullam.
Nullam. Congratulations, guys.
One final round of applause for all 4 of our teams, please. We want to thank everyone from the bottom of our hearts for coming out to support our students. You can stay in touch with us. SiliconNorthstars.org is our site. And in true Silicon North Stars tradition, we would like to close the evening with a large group photo of the whole community of supporters. So we ask you to please come up here, take a picture, and there's some snacks and drinks in the back if you'd like to hang out afterwards and spend a few minutes with our students. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you guys ready? Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Zelda!
Right here. Cool.
Should we do a funny one? Yeah. All right. You guys Zelda pose.
All right, 1, 2, 3, funny.
All right. Thank you. Everybody bring it in. Bring it in.
Group huddle, group huddle. Let's bring it in. All right, everybody, Silicon North Stars on 3. 1, 2, 3. Silicon North Stars!